All right. So I'll just briefly go over kind of the point and the purpose, but it is summertime. Things are opening back up. Probably one of the biggest issues that people are having in small businesses, they don't know where their business is coming from. They don't know where they're losing it from, and therefore they don't know how to kind of get back to it. So one of the things that we're looking at here is, especially if you run a website, is basically tracking pixels. And there's lots of talk and different things out there about, oh, well, with iOS 14 coming out on iPhone, now it lets you say, do you want to be tracked, for all your apps? Okay, so people that advertise and do a ton of advertising on Facebook are a little upset about this. Different things are going to work. Some things aren't going to work. Guys, there's going to be spam filters and things like that. Like, we don't want people to get obnoxiously hit with things they don't want to get hit with. Like, who wants to get advertised to that doesn't? That being said, I kind of like being advertised to what I am looking for. I'm one of those online shoppers who's like, you're stalking me like Big Brother, like you're following me around. Great. Send me the ads, freaks me out a little bit when you talk about it out loud and all of a sudden you never search for it or anything and the ads start popping up and then you're going, oh, that's really great. How many of these Alexas and Googles and Siris and everything else are listening to everything you're saying, right? That's kind of spooky. I'm not talking about that technology. I certainly don't have access to it, but I think what is interesting is we should be making sure that the traffic that you're trying to develop, or the small business conversation back and forth with your own clients, is tracked. If you're not, and this doesn't go just for online stuff, by the way, this goes for US mail, this goes for TV, radio, signage. There's always a way to track what kind of advertising or marketing that you're doing. And that's something that doesn't get thought about all the way with a lot of small business owners, right? We're not thinking about it all the way through to the end. And therefore, people are mainly concerned with, well, how do I get this out? So like Michael and I, this just shows a small ad he did for a new listing, right? So there was a little bit of traffic in the last 14 hours, not a lot. But he also didn't, I think he spent, I can't remember the dollar amount, it was under $50 in a bunch of different places. But here's the key. We're now going to be able to advertise a little bit, or at least try. And I'm sure you guys have heard the word retarget before. Now they have the ability to retarget people that maybe had some interest in your ad. So those of you that have not checked out, the services like Megaphone, where we can create our ads, put them out on Google. I'm going to bring up, I don't know, somebody, Lane, what's your favorite news channel? Or what do you, if you're going to go to a website to check the weather or something like that, what do you go to?
On my phone, I just swipe right on Google.
So it's Google. So Google weather.com, I believe, is what runs that, right? So I'm just going to pick up weather.com. Yeah, or AccuWeather. It doesn't really matter. You can also, as I scroll to just about any website, and this is what's important, if you see this right here, it says advertisement. This right here is an ad. All right. As I keep scrolling on down, and everything else, there's another ad. It's this direction now. And everything else, right? If I keep scrolling down, look at that. We insure. Oh, hey, that's my name. We're advertising on this page. Okay. How cool is that, right? We sell insurance. All right. Now, what I can already see here, like we're using AdWorks and some other programs like that, like you can run ads with. Megaphone, which I realize not everybody on this is a real estate small business person that might be listening to this, or whatever else. But I'm going to use Mike. Thank you, Michael, by the way, for being the awesome example for me to use here today. The Megaphone ads that we can run quickly and easily, it's kind of interesting. But when you look at the different sizes that are needed in order to run ads, the reason that advertising platforms need to create things in different sizes for you is for this very reason. Check this out now. I got these square ads over here, which are actually slightly different size than these square ads over here. All right. This is a video ad. Megaphone also helps you create videos and place those ads. Okay. Most of this, by the way, is done through Google. If you look up here in the corner where it says ad and it says sponsored content, and I click on that, all right, it kind of starts to tell you, like, why am I seeing these ads and whatever, right? Here's another one down at the bottom, ad choices, US Cellular. So US Cellular is doing this. Now, obviously, weather.com is a national website. Why am I seeing all local advertising? Well, that's very simple, right? They're choosing to serve these local ads to me as the user, my IP address on my computer, right? So as we're kind of talking about that a little bit and how this is, how we're tracking that traffic, the importance of it is so that we can retarget those advertising pieces to the same people who are already interested, instead of continuing to do what we call in online advertising and in just advertising in general, the spray and pray method, right? Just, I'm going to put it out over here and I'm just going to hope that this works out, right? Well, let's talk about then US mail or something else like that. If I were to send out a piece of advertising to someone's mailbox, and we have two things that we're trying to do when we send out probably a piece of US mail, either impression marketing or we're actually trying to get somebody to take action, right? If we're trying to get them to take action, where are we sending their eyeballs? And is the place you're sending their eyeballs being tracked? Otherwise, how are you going to know how successful any piece of marketing, whether it be digital or otherwise, is operating? And that, in my opinion, right there is the difference between a business owner that understands that their money spent isn't just spent and then we're done. It's really important to be figuring out the effectiveness of any one given piece of marketing or advertising. So if I go on that same premise, and I'll just show you under Michael's account, we did something interesting. Like, we've been spreading out different kinds of advertising. But like, I want to show you, on that page for the Weather Channel, remember that right here, it was a video. Well, we did for a piece of land, and I know this can work for retail, this could work for any product you're talking about. For a piece of land, we advertised with a video. Okay. Oops, sorry, clicked on the wrong one. We worked on a video. And here's that video really quick. I know it's small over here in the corner, but it was a moving video of the little book that we can make, in our program, for doing small little videos for our properties, right? It was a 24-second video. It took us less than 3 minutes to make, literally less than 3 minutes, right? Posted it up. Now, with that size of that ad, now and I know it says 0, right? Well, that's because it's 7 days and we ran it more than 7 days ago. But we spent $38, I think, or $39. We generated 18,485 impressions, and there was 103 clicks on that. What's cool is when you're tracking and we sent it directly to the page that particular property was on. Well, whether or not those 103 people really want that piece of property, they were probably interested in seeing what it was about, right? Out of the 18,400, it would certainly make more sense to try and follow up with 103 people instead of just running another ad and continuing to blast out to 18,000, right? So by then taking the tracking piece, and if you're not using either Google Analytics, and you should also probably be using Facebook tracking pixels, those are where a lot of eyeballs are. It also tracks Instagram and things like that, then you can't possibly retarget. So in order to retarget ads, you have to be tracking them. And then obviously with each ad, you probably want the destination to be specific. So if I use another example, Herman and Tammy with our company, and let's just say, I don't care what kind of company you run. I'm going to go with my MPG. I think it's.
Dan, I'll follow up with you on this.
Yep. Hit me up and we'll set yours up. We'll see you a little later.
Take care. See you,
So-
Clinton. Take care, buddy.
Later, Clinton. Or, well, later, Lane. Clinton's staying, I think, for a sec. We'll be done soon anyway, but hit me up and we can actually turn yours on. So in this particular case, he sent an email message. So let's talk about an email message out to the people who know him. All right. And we created, a video. And this one was out to people who had inquired with them, but they didn't know yet. So it was a nice to meet you. Hi, this is who we are. Right.
Hi, I'm Tammy Aker.
All right.
And I work with Herman Kraus on the.
So they were just literally just introducing themselves, right? I made it fun at the end because I did their outtakes, so we might as well watch that because it'll make you laugh. It kind of makes you smile when you see somebody screw up doing a video. I don't care who you are.
How much do you guys like
Right.
recording video?
Now,
Love it.
the important part of me showing where this was, right? And then this video for this gentleman does radon mitigation. That's his business. His name's Mike. He's amazing. He doesn't like doing videos. So I made him shoot a video in a coffee shop with me once.
Mike Gallagher, I'm owner and operator of MPG Radon Services, located in Madison.
All right. Simple, easy, right? He went through his value prop a little bit.
Right here in Madison.
And again, I added it, or we ended it with a little bit of humor.
I wanted to say that, we are real.
Let's see, where is it?
Right here in Madison.
Oh, here it is. Oh, I miss it. I asked Mike how much he likes doing videos, and he said, I hate doing videos. But regardless, so he's got a couple of different things now. We're tracking that traffic on his website, right? So we know whether somebody goes and watches it from here because they went to a website. We know whether they got to the website or got to this video because they searched on the internet, Google, and ended up there. We know if they ended up there because they started in Facebook and then ended up there, right? What they clicked on in order to get there. And what's awesome about that is then we can spend advertising dollars accordingly, right? I don't necessarily think that if someone just hit your homepage and left, I'm not so sure I want to retarget that traffic, right? Not so sure that makes the most amount of sense. But if perhaps I'm I don't know, a different kind of traffic, maybe it's better. You can see specifically on here what page they actually looked at on your site. So we can view the details of what page they looked at and different things like that. And I apologize, we just started this one yesterday. But we can see the demographics of where people search, like here. And I'll actually go, so you had 5 people where they clicked directly on a link that was sent. 3 referrals, 1 organic. What that means, 1 organic means it was searched and then found and clicked on. Referral means it came from another source, right? And we can look at all these, track them over time, but more importantly, like I said, now we can create ads specifically just for that person. And we don't have to spend gobs of money trying to go out after all these strangers. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't need to drag on with it. It was just something that I think is radically important. I'll certainly be pushing it out the whole rest of the next couple of months. If there's someone watching this that's, not in our business, not in real estate, but they're just in small business and you need help with this, would you reach out to me? I can put you in touch with people. This is not an expensive or complicated thing to do, even though it looks nerdy as hell. It's just not. It's a matter of putting a little couple pieces of code somewhere and then using it. I like showcasing different thoughts too, but like when you're on a postcard, and again, maybe you're just doing some impression marketing to your people, reminding them you're still out there, but maybe there's that call to action. Hey, register for this and win a free barbecue set. I don't know, whatever your business might be or whatever strategy you might be using to market or advertise your business or services. If you're doing some sort of an event registration or a giveaway, well, that's going to be a different link to a different page. And it doesn't matter where it is on your website, right? Like we can put it here. You don't even have to list it as a public page on your website. But if I was putting a postcard and trying to raise money, for Children's Miracle Network or something to that effect, I would use that particular page on my postcard, or I'd create another subpage so that I know it only came, the only way they could have gotten there was from my postcard, right? Well, now if I mail out, to a sphere or out to a geographic area, I'm doing some geographic marketing or targeting, and 4 people landed on that site, I know that they were the 4 people that actually, the piece of advertising and marketing that I sent out spoke to them. And now I can just spend very, very small amounts of money re-advertising to those people that had some interest, right? And while a lot of people look at this and go, well, that's annoying. I don't want to be tracked. I don't want to be targeted. It's like, yes, you do. You kind of do. When you're not shopping for a car, you're not looking for the car, right? And then when you are shopping for a car or a house or a service, or you need this or you need that, you start seeing it everywhere. Well, you kind of want to see it everywhere. I mean, that's a decision you're trying to make. So don't look at it as something that's always going to be that annoying sales, because some people, man, the reason they're engaging is they want to be sold that thing or that service. They're looking for it. So it doesn't always need to feel like creepy and bad. I realize if anybody out there has watched the likes of like, oh God, what's the big story? I apologize here. I'm going to switch screens. Let's see. Sorry, I was sharing the one screen and then I moved it over.
Yeah.
Here we go. Gallery. But yeah, anyway, when the stories of different things, that was funny. I just got asked for a review. How convenient, on my own screen. So the last piece I wanted to just touch on today really quickly was just reviews. Are you asking for online reviews? Because everybody is, right? Here's the big key to this one, and then we can kind of, I feel like we can shut up about it. You have to have a place for them to review you. So if you do not have a Google business page, if you don't have a testimonials page on your website, because let's face it, where do people go to check you out and make sure you're a decent human being and to decide whether they are going to work with you? If they don't already know you, they go online somewhere. One of the things that I'd love to show everybody really quick, like if you do not have any Google reviews, is it's never too late to start. So if I look at any one of these given pages and I look at a business, it's not too late to start. Michael has lots of reviews on other like home websites, but he didn't really have any, in Google. And it's never too late to start. And some reviews is better than none. And I'll also say this, having a bad review isn't the worst thing in the world either, especially when you get a lot of them. Okay? It can make you real. So don't flip out if you ever get a bad online review. That being said, if you aren't getting the reviews, or let's perhaps touch on one thing. You're asking for reviews and you're trying to get them, but you don't seem to get the ones you want or when you want. All right. Let's talk about that really quick. If you're not getting the reviews you want when you want, there's a real possibility, or an easy possibility, that it's because you're asking at the wrong time, you're not asking on the right channel, or you're not making it easy enough. All right. It doesn't mean they don't want to give you a review. I say this to people all the time that are having troubles with small business collecting reviews. If you're having a problem, you can check out lots of different services out there. There's Bird Eye. I know that this is one that's coming to the top of my head, as far as getting Google reviews, right? And then they make me put my info in lead capture in order to do the little video here. But it's a combination of sending out telephone calls, right? Then going from a telephone call to maybe sending them the link, calling attention to that link, whatever. But here's the deal. If you're going to ask for a review about something you did specifically, it needs to be timely. It needs to be when you did that thing. If you're just asking for a reputational testimonial to your character, to who you are, to how you operate, did you do what you say you're going to do? Developing that trust with strangers, that ability to like somebody. Then you can go back and ask a past client or a customer or a friend or a family member at any given time, can you vouch for me? Right? Can you do this for me? Can you take 5 minutes? The last strategy I will give you in that regard, and I just heard it yesterday and it was used effectively. One of the business associates that I have did a favor for another business associate. He told me about it, and the guy said, "Hey, that was so great. Thanks for helping me out." He saved him from having to take a long drive somewhere or whatever, and he picked up a product or whatever. "Hey, can you help me out? I'll do it. I got to get you back. Thank you so much for that. Can I send you some money?" And he said, "No. But can you take 5 minutes and write me a business review, a Google review?" So think about that too. If you're out doing good gestures, good favors, good things for people and everything else, if you're doing those things, and ask for that in return instead of something else. We see it all the time. People are like, "Oh, what are you getting me? What would you like for your birthday? What would you like for a gift?" Don't give me a gift. The gift that would keep on giving would be asking for somebody to give you a testimonial or a review as to who you are and how awesome you are. So, Clinton, do you have anything? I know Sue's been on mute the whole time, so I won't ask her for one. But anything to add or comments to make or questions?
No, I'm gonna hit you up a little later. Set up a time to go through this, and
Yeah.
I can get set up.
We'll get it set up really in short order. And what's cool is now you're tracking and you can be out there operating and not worrying about it because at least you have the data. So now when you go to sit down a month later, you got something to work with. So it's all about just turning it on. So 15, 20 minutes tops.
I'm kind of sick and tired of spending $25, $50 and
where did it go? What did it do? Exactly. And I think that when it comes to small business versus big business, they have such a leverage on us for this, right? Because they've been doing retargeting and refocusing, and you probably hear the word funnels all the time, right? Or whatever. And it's like, well, okay, we know what those funnels are. So, well, rock and roll, man. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody that's out there, I realize it's summer. I realize that. I realize everybody's kind of like, hey, man, it's mid-June and people are going to their first baseball games. I got to go to a Brewers game the other night. It felt so amazing. It felt so real. Be cognizant out there, but things are opening back up and you gotta get to work. If you're a small business owner and you're still wondering how you're going to pivot during this time or how you're going to do this, man, you're behind, but you're never out. It's that nothing goes away in a day and nothing's built in a day. So we just each day you got to be doing something.
Hey, Dan, may I ask a question?
Absolutely, Sue.
So I do have a number of written reviews, evaluations from the past 6 closings, last couple months.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Is that Anna that could help me put those on a site somewhere? Or should I?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's cool is you having, and that kind of talks a little bit about having a testimonials page. And certainly, yeah, if you just want to shoot an email into services, we'll get them taken care of for you. then you can advertise that piece. But where you're asking for those reviews, like if you're getting them right now just via email, it would be important for us to set up a templated email for you to when you're asking for those from your client and they're emailing you back some really nice things to say about you. We'd rather have them put it into Google because that's going to give you so much more power, and you still can copy it and use it on your own page and use it to advertise and market the fact that you did a good job. That's and just so everybody knows, if you're just wanting to look up articles on what this is about, it's called social proof, right? It's social proof that you're doing a wonderful job and that you've been in the business for a long time. Now, the last comment I'll make about that, so Sue, hit me up too, because Clinton and I are going to do the same thing. We need to set up your template so that you're asking for a review from Google. That's what you'll send that out each time. But here's the last thing I want to say about asking for business reviews. Are you asking specifically what kind of review you want? I'm not talking about writing it for them. I'm talking about kind of leading them down the path of giving you the review that makes sense for your business. So if you're a plumber out there, or you're a real estate agent, or you're some sort of other service giver, or you're in retail, the review you would want would be, it needs to talk directly to what your value proposition was. So if being really fast at your service, let's say you were a plumber that specifically targeted being available 24/7, emergency services. Well, would you want your reviews to talk about how thorough and awesome it was, even though it took 2 weeks? Or would you want them to talk directly about the fact that we called them and an hour later we had our hero in a cape, in our driveway? Thank God their response was so fast, right? So same deal with any business, including ours. Like, we need to be asking that the review be stated in a certain way. Don't get me wrong. Again, if we're going for know, like, and trust with our consumer and customers, sometimes it's just a reputational testimonial is fine too. Sometimes it can be about the service. Sometimes it could be about the experience they had with you. You go above and beyond for somebody, man, you'd love for them to tell that story. And lastly, if you can get somebody to do it like this on video, if you have any past clients that are willing to do a video testimonial, a live body, my goodness, that it does not get any better than that. And a good place to try and do that, by the way, is at the close of your business, but right before you leave. Would you be willing to shoot a quick video with me? Just telling anybody else that I might work with down the road that I do a good job. I don't know. I might feel uncomfortable about that, or whatever. Great. Can I send you a link then, and you can do a written one for me? And now they say yes, right? So, but if you ask for that video, and you do, it can be as easy as a selfie too. Doesn't need to be video. Be a picture with that person, so that picture can go along with that testimonial. There's something very real about that. Very real about being able to see people's faces, right? So, in any event,
Okay.
thanks. I know it was a small group. I still think we got some great value today and everything else. Both of you guys hit me up. We obviously have at least a, half hour together with each one of us, get that stuff wired up so that we can go on into the future and be tracking. So
I'd love to do that. I'll get a hold of you next week. Thank you so much.
sounds great, guys. Clinton, we'll talk to you soon. Later, buddy.
Good enough.